So one thing that makes Brisbane unique is the fact that when you compare it to, say, Melbourne or Sydney, there's less of the population of Queensland living in Brisbane than there is, say, in Melbourne and Victoria. So Melbourne, we've got about 75% of Victoria's population in Melbourne. Sydney's got about 65% of New South Wales population, whereas Brisbane's only got about 45% of Queensland's population. So Queensland's a lot more spread out. And you've got two major cities close by, being up around the Sunshine Coast region and down on your Gold Coast region. So if we look at Brisbane itself, you do have to be really careful and selective where you buy. Plus, the market's moved significantly now in all areas, which is something that's usually been unique to Sydney and Melbourne. When the market goes, everything goes, whereas Brisbane's just had that boom that we hadn't seen there for probably over 10 years' time. So if you're looking at Brisbane now and you've got low budget, say something in that 450 to 550 range, it's very, very difficult to buy. It used to be quite easy. So now you've got to look up in regions like, say, Strathpine and Bray Park, which is following the train line north. Strathpine's an activity centre, and it's outside the Brisbane City Council, though. So there's different framework there for town planning, but it's a really key area to do some research on if you're looking to invest at that price point. If you've got a slightly higher budget, more in that kind of 750 to 850 range, you've got some opportunities once again on the north side around, say, Aspley and potentially parts of, say, Chermside West. But even there, it's starting to push into the high eights now. The other option is to go down to, say, Mount Gravatt, Mansfield region, which is sitting around that 800 mark, great school catchment area, and also sits alongside the motorway, so good access south and also north back into the city. If you've got a little bit more money to spend up around the 1 to 1.1 mil, we think there's great opportunity in Morningside, which is just on that inner eastern side and tends to be a little bit overlooked because it sits near the more premium areas of Balmoral, Bulimba and Hawthorn. Just be mindful there is parts that are in the flight path, and there is some better and worse parts of that particular suburb. So pricing's a bit complex, but Morningside, you can get great big blocks, big homes, and you're very, very close to the city, especially as the crow flies. A little bit more bit and high yield, you can head up into, say, Kelvin Grove, which is almost walkable to the CBD, and there's a lot of growth on the back of the educational aspect of the area, but also the fact that it's very similar feel to, say, Paddington, and access is good to Paddington, which is probably one of the highest growth suburbs within Brisbane. So there's a few options for you to consider if you're looking to invest in probably what is the fastest moving property market in Australia right now.